hurts. It's a tough one. All credit to Washington. They're a really good team who's very specifically good at what they do. And if you're not ready for that, you're going to get got. And we were not ready. The first half was, we were exposed in so many ways of not being ready, and that's on me. I thought we had a good day of prep yesterday, but it didn't carry over to the first half. I thought we, made a valiant effort in the second half, or that third quarter, to try and get it back, but it was too late. And it's up to us to try and figure out how to deal with this. Probably our first, bit of adversity in terms of, losing a tough one like this, but I look forward to how we can ultimately bounce back from it.
Can you just take me through those last few seconds and kind of describe your emotion in those last 30 seconds of the game, where you had three back to three, and then you had that missed call that's in your back, and just talk me through those final seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I'd used our timeouts. I'd used a couple early to try and get our heads out of our asses. Sorry for the language, but you have to use it sometimes to get yourself going. And then I sort of strategically used the last two when I could advance it and set something up, because I felt like we were getting pretty good looks out of our sets. And then once we're out of timeouts, you gotta be able to score, in flow. And we hit a couple big ones there. We used the review, or we used their last timeout to try and set up something when there was such a little time left. And when there was 1.3 left, obviously I was hoping for a 5-second call, or something, crazy happening. I didn't have a great look at it, but it seemed like Kenzie poked the ball from behind, and sometimes officials are very ready for people to foul and blow a whistle. So I can't tell you whether that was a little bit early and anticipatory, or whether she got her. I haven't seen it. But clearly I think, the people in our building thought, maybe it was an opportunity there. But at that point, it's 1.3 seconds left and you're trying to make a hero play, and we almost did it.
So y'all went down, you guys were down by 13, and then Juju hit a layup or a jumper right before halftime. It seemed like it was, the first half, you guys kind of struggled, and you guys went into halftime. What was that message at halftime, for the team to kind of come out swinging and have a good third quarter?
I had to do the media, the halftime thing, and my coaches are really good, my staff, making adjustments and things like that, but I blew right by him and I said, there's no adjustments. I'm going to walk in there and tell them how I feel, which is, I thought there was no adjustment I could make in the game plan. Like, there were curse words, there was emotion. We had to have a different level of want, intensity. I thought we were getting cooked individually. I thought we were settling on offense. There's a number of things. Like, we weren't good at anything, so it was just a matter of trying to change that energy. I thought, and again, I'm not taking any credit away from Washington. They're a really good team who does what they do very well. But it's the first time I thought that we came out here and said, oh, we're wearing USC on our jerseys, and therefore we're going to win. And you can't win like that. You can't win like that. And so we got on them, and like I said, we made a valiant effort. But when you spot someone in this league, an 11-point lead, it makes it really hard.
Did you feel like there was a lack of energy throughout that first half, and is that what you were kind of trying to point out and get the women fired up going into that second half, and not really talking about adjustments?
Right. I thought there was just again, I'm not, like, I don't like it when coaches, like, only kind of recognize their own team and don't realize there's a staff and a team on the other side who are trying to get you, and they're really good. So I don't ever want to be like, oh, it was just us. And, they're really good at what they do. I felt like, yes, the energy, like, we weren't disruptive in their actions. I felt like we made game plan mistakes. I felt like we didn't get 50-50 balls. I felt like we offensively, we weren't doing the things that, we worked on, we talked about. So whether that all comes down to a single word like energy, it was something. It was, we weren't able to create our own energy. Now, from a technical standpoint, like, they use 30 seconds of the shot clock, right? So it takes a long time, like their offenses, like it takes longer, so you're not going to get as many possessions, but we were trying to create our pace a little bit. So yes, I think the best way to say it is I didn't like our energy. I didn't like our juice in the first half. It was more of that than, and we made a couple adjustments and things like that, but it was more about our energy.
Kind of piggyback on what you just said. When the team uses all 30 seconds of the shot clock, how much does that highlight your inefficiencies on offense, whether that's scoring the ball or turnover?
I mean, yeah, we didn't turn it over a ton, but it takes the air out of the ball a little bit. Like, and more so, we didn't get clean stops. So even if there's less possessions in a game, if we can get stops and run in transition, we're better. But I mean, they shot. I'm looking at the box score now. They shot 47% in the first quarter and 62% in the second quarter, and without having a Wharton degree, that's pretty effing bad, right, defensively. So if you're not getting stops, then they get to set up their defense, and we can't create the pace that we want. That being said, so what? We still need to be able to execute and score more than 23 points. And all of this, by the way, is on me. Like, sorry, it's not like we have to do better, and so that's on me to get us to do better, and that's what I tried to do at halftime. Sorry.
Kayla, just your thoughts on what Coach has said and why you guys didn't seem to maybe have that intensity, that energy, all that stuff today.
Yeah, no, I think Coach is spot on. I mean, I don't think we could have had better preparation coming into this game. It wasn't a lack of information or things we needed to know. It was simply the way we came out. I think Coach Lindsay used a good word. Like, it felt like in the first half we were a bit stubborn. Like, we recognized what we needed to change, but weren't necessarily executing on that. And I think at that point we had a great second half, but we were just trying to climb out of a hole that was hard to get out of.
People sometimes kind of point to games or wins or losses as kind of being a defining moment. How do you see this game, or what do you see the significance of this game for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, in the locker room we were talking about this is probably the first time we're facing, we've had tough losses before, but using this as an opportunity to look at adversity and, turn around and punch back. I mean, we have a tough upcoming road trip, so we're going to take this weekend and just try to move forward and not necessarily look at it as, a challenge, but using it as a field to be better and just to play it better altogether.
So you had 6 threes, including 2 in the final quarter. With time running out to try to get back into the game. How big were each of those shots? Because it seemed like each of those shots were necessary for you guys to kind of get the offense going and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone, not just me, we were trying to, again, dig out of this hole that we had dug ourselves in the first half, and as much as we were able to do and produce, it's just like none of that matters when we can't come out with the win. So as great it is that we maybe outscored them in the second half, like it was just that first half that just really killed us, and regardless of anything we tried to do.
Lindsay, Kayla shot the ball terrific tonight. How much of an effort did you make to kind of encourage your other two, your leaders, to start getting the ball to Kayla, as she seems to have it going versus the other two who didn't really have the ball?
Yep. I mean, we definitely obviously ran some set plays to her, but we also found her in transition a couple times. I mean, obviously it's on everyone to recognize the hot hand, and we just tell them again, we want to make the right play again and again and again, right? Like, there were times at which, I mean, they play 4 guards, sometimes 5 guards. There were times at which we're trying to say, okay, let's get it inside a little bit, or let's attack the rim and get her on a spray. But we definitely, made a more of an intentional attempt to get her some looks, and some of it as well has to come out of flow. But everyone was aware she was hot, and we were trying to get it to her.
Just these last 2 weeks have shown the most adversity for you guys this season. 3 out of the last 4. How is this something that you can take and learn from moving forward in the season, and as we come back to the end of the stretch of conference play?
Yeah, I mean, it'll test you every time, right? I think your mentality about how you handle it is incredibly important. I think everyone gets exposed in this conference defensively, having to guard various things, and offensively. And so, we're not even halfway through conference. And so it's what is under your control is how you decide, to respond and figure out, are we capable of getting better? Are we capable of, responding in a way that ultimately helps us? But, it's sickening to have to sit with it, for 4 or 5 days. It doesn't get any easier, when you go up and play Stanford. So we have to decide, are we going to get better? Because the road certainly doesn't get easier, and you learn lessons, and again, it's my job to get us in the direction where it turns into something positive. But it's a painful and ugly process to do that sometimes, because you're sitting with negative, kind of bad feelings about a tough loss. I will say this crowd was great today. I was embarrassed in the first half about the effort we put out, but I do think they saw a better version of us in the second half, and hopefully we can take some of that positive energy from the second half on the road. But we got to be better.